My long-awaited book, Astrology Realized, is finally available and waiting for you at Amazon and other online retailers. Get one for you, your loved one, or as a gift. All part of your fabulous journey to understanding astrology. Enjoy. Hello, fabulous Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope for 2014. Thank you for being here. This year, there are a few really important things. So let me just lay out the technical stuff first before I get into the interpretation. Your ancient ruling planet is Mars, and Mars is going to be moving through the sign of Libra before 2013 is even over. And for most of the year, certainly the first half of the year is especially strong, but is there hanging out through the summer of 2014. Now, this is very unusual. Usually your ruling planet moves through a sign for about 6 weeks, but once every 2 years or so, Mars starts to move backwards and the sky goes through retrograde motion. And this time, this entire party is taking place in the sign of Libra. And then fast forward a little bit, right? So then Mars is spending all this extended amount of time in a single sign, very unusual. And then Mars moves on, enters your sign once we get into the later part of the summer. And then in the fall, Mercury moves through the sign of Libra and just dips his foot into your sign before retrograding back into Libra and then moving forward again and entering your sign. Now, the reason I wanted to lay out all this sort of technical stuff for you, and I'm sorry for those of you who aren't students of astrology, I know that it can sound like another language because astrology is another language and I am an interpreter. That's what astrologers do, is we interpret the symbols. When I look at this, it does suggest to me that a lot of the lessons and considerations that are going to be happening are not fully going to really come home, right? You're not fully going to get a lot of things or a lot of reasons why a lot of things need to happen, especially in the first half of the year, until we get you to the fall. And once we get you to the fall, particularly once we get you into October, when there's a solar eclipse in your sign, that's when a lot of things are going to come together. So I'm sharing this with you now. Now I'm going to start going through this a little bit more in depth, but I want you to understand that this year is a process. You are engaged in a very important process. All of this Libra energy, when your ruling planet goes into Libra, Libra is the sign just before yours. And it tends to symbolize, that part of the sky symbolizes what you just don't know, things that you're not aware of, things that are deep within you. And as such, it can indicate restlessness, a certain impatience, a certain feeling like something's off or something's wrong or you should be doing something or you could be doing something or you should be doing more. And that feeling is very much there. Because Mars is a planet of action and a planet of energy, a planet of momentum, you add Mars going backwards. Mars doesn't really like going backwards because Mars is all about the momentum going forward. Mars going backwards, he's not crazy about being in that position. And then you add to that, for you in the segment of the sky for you, it does suggest that you are feeling a sense of discontent, even when there doesn't need to be that feeling. Yes, you have Saturn moving through your sign, and yes, it can be serious, but I think that especially over the course of 2013, Mars was getting so much cosmic support from so many power players that it probably went along, like really brought out the best of Saturn, brought some really positive gains, helped you to make some really mature decisions that you are at peace with. And the thing is that in one way, the universe wants you to continue with that momentum. You've still got Saturn there in your sign, encouraging you to see the big picture, encouraging you to really establish a sense of constancy within yourself and a sense of what it is that you're actually working towards, what it is that you're actually building. But with Mars there, ultimately, Mars there is meant to encourage you to have faith, encourage you to believe, encourage you to do the spiritual work and the emotional work so that the actions you do take are meaningful. All that stuff, the stability that you're building, the honesty that you're having with yourself so that it actually matters in the bigger picture and it actually matters today, right now. Mars is encouraging you to root all that in faith in yourself and in unseen forces. But if you don't actually give yourself an active spiritual practice, and this is about you being active, this is about you saying, okay, every day I'm going to do my yoga, every day I'm going to do my meditations, every day I'm going to do my affirmations, my prayers, whatever it is that you need to connect to source, to plug in. If you don't actively do that, then you're just going to find yourself discontent even when things are going really well and you can't place your finger on why you're discontent. It can, of course, that discontent can, of course, encourage you to work harder. But the thing is that it could also encourage you to take actions, and a lot of action, and hard working action in a direction that doesn't ultimately serve your higher ends. The way to really counter that is to use the energy as it is meant to, and it is meant to be a force for spirit. It is meant to show you that actually sometimes the greatest action you can take is to trust, to surrender, and to have faith. Because faith is ultimately an action. Faith is ultimately something that sometimes you have to consciously tap into, and you have to tap into quite regularly. The other thing with this year that I think is really important for you is going to be your dreams, the dreamscape. You really want to watch your dreams. If you haven't before 2013 even ends, I'm going to encourage you to keep a dream journal, because it really is there that a lot of stuff is going to come forward that's going to help you tremendously, especially once we get you later in the year. You may want to even consider getting a book like Memories, Dreams, Reflections by Carl Jung, something that helps you to understand your dreams, because those symbols are going to be speaking to you so powerfully, whether you want to understand it as spirit world, dreamscape, whether you want to understand it as your own unconscious coming forward to help you understand yourself more deeply, to help you heal more deeply. All of that, the dreamscape is so vivid for you and certainly can show you so much about yourself. But of course, it's not just about your personal process. Yes, in many ways, I do think life is about your personal process. But what I do find really encouraging is that there's all this stuff happening. You're feeling all these things. You can't always put your finger on it. You're having all kinds of crazy dreams. And then you feel a little bit of calm for just a moment. You get a bit of a breather. You're taking action. You got Mars in your sign for a short amount of time and you're all happy about it. And then Mercury enters Libra, and Mercury is going backwards. Mercury just touches your sign and goes backwards. And this is about you really starting to understand why you were feeling all the things that you were feeling, what it was that ultimately your unconscious was trying to tell you, what it was that was trying to come forward, what it was that was trying to heal, and how now that is meant to help shape you and create a better life for yourself. How now you can take those visions and those dreams and actually implement them towards your prosperity, towards your happiness, towards your abundance, and really towards your fresh start, towards a brand new chapter. Solar eclipses do bring new chapters. It gives you the chance to see things in a completely different way. It gives you the chance to say, okay, this is who I am now. Lunar eclipses are, this is who I no longer am. Solar eclipses, this is who I am now. And that is the person to whom you are building. You are getting ready to launch a new you, a totally new person towards the later part of this year. Trust the process along the way. Keep yourself busy. Give yourself some spiritual activities to do. Keep a dream journal for sure, for sure, for sure. Make a promise to yourself right now that you will. And trust the process, because when that new you comes, new identity, new vision, new understanding of yourself and your place in the world, when that new you is ready to emerge, you're going to be really grateful for all the experiences that you have this year. And you're going to be really grateful that you took yourself seriously, that you took the work seriously, that you took the time to cherish your dreams and your visions. You took the time to learn about yourself, because that's going to help you to be reborn, really. Ultimately, one of the symbols, one of the many symbols that represents your sign is a phoenix rising from the ashes. Also, one of my favorite symbols for your sign is the snake shedding dead skin. It's a big symbol for you. And in this life, you go through many rebirths. If you're living fully and if you're living consciously, you will experience many rebirths over the course of your life. And that is one that is promised now. And if you do the work in the first part of the year, by the time we get you to the fall, the phoenix that rises from the ashes is one that really feels like you, somebody that you can really be proud of.